Hello everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. Today's webinar is New Silicone Master Batch Combining Slip and Anti-Block Additives for Processing PE Blown Film, and is presented by DuPont. Your presenter today is Patrick Prelay, an R&D and technical support engineer who is responsible for silicone master batches and highly filled compounds. His extensive expertise includes formulation and compounding process development. Patrick holds a degree in Plastics and Polymers from Jean Monnet University in Saint-Étienne and an engineering degree from the Doctoral School of Lyon, both in France. My name is Abby Pirro with UL, and I'll be moderating today's webinar. Please send us your questions by typing them into the question box located on your screen. Our panelists will answer them at the end of the presentation. We are recording today's event, and we'll send you a link by email when it has been posted to ulprospector.com. Now I would like to turn the presentation over to Patrick. Would you like to begin?
Okay, good afternoon, good morning. Thank you to the UL to give us the opportunity to make this lecture. Today we present an additive based on silicone technology dedicated for PE blown film and mainly plastomer, which is a component of skin layer of PE blown film. This new additive is called AMB12235. So the agenda of today, a quick presentation of new DuPont and a presentation of Multibase, which is since a few weeks a part of DuPont. We will focus on master batch, silicone master batch technology for PE blown film. We'll present some experimental setup, technical results, and of course a conclusion. So, New DuPont is a global company with more than 30,000 colleagues. It's a global company present in more than 70 countries with 200 manufacturing sites, lots of global R&D center. This figure presents DuPont business for main business activity: electronics and imaging, nutrition, bioscience, safety and construction, and transportation and industrial. And Multibase is a part of this business. This business is active in lots of industrial sectors as automotive and advanced mobility, electronics, industrials, healthcare, consumer. New DuPont has lots of innovation center and R&D center. This map shows the different locations. The front R&D center is the R&D center of Multibase, where silicone master batch are developed and produced. Multibase is a compounder. Multibase was created in 1980. It was a joint venture between the steel company and OMIA. During our history, we acquired different manufacturing plants. One in the US, Copley, it's close to Akron, south of Cleveland, Ohio, USA. One plant in India, Daman, and 10 years ago, one plant in Zhangjiagang in China. In 2002, Multibase was acquired by Dow Corning, and that is the period of time where silicone technology was introducing at Multibase. In 2016, Dow acquired Dow Corning. 2 years after, Dow and DuPont merged in order to create, in 2019, two new separate companies, New DuPont and New Dow. And since 2 weeks, Multibase is a part of DuPont. I will focus now on our new additive, which is based on silicone technology dedicated for PE blown film. So this additive ensures a long-lasting, low coefficient of friction when added in the skin layer, mainly heat sealing layer of multi-layer PE blown film, and that makes a very stable throughput after extrusion process. When the film is post-processed, the film will be transformed in bags, pouches, for example, with FFS process. it significantly improves productivity and make a consistent quality of the film during this post-process operation. Our solution make a stable long-term COF, and that will make easier the logistic and storage of the film during the processing chain, all post-processing operation. And this additive is added at a very low amount into the skin layer, and that really does not impact or very slightly impact the haze for a clear film. This additive AMB12235, so as I said just before, is added only in the skin layer at a very low dosage. It doesn't migrate through the film. It doesn't transfer from the siliconized layer to the opposite layer, for example, when the film is rolled after extrusion process. And this additive can be used with very standard dosing equipment. This additive is a combination of slip agent and anti-block, and we know that the right combination of these two components is very efficient in terms of COF and to manage low and consistent COF. It's easy to supply and handling. This master batch is a free-flowing pellet. It is used with conventional dosing equipment, and something which is very important, it doesn't change the extrusion process parameter of the film when it is extruded. The typical recommended level is in between 4 to 6%. So experiment setup, I will present the film structure where our additive was studied compared to traditional organic solution. We will focus on COF, mechanical property, and transfer. So we have defined multi-layer P film structure in order to evaluate the efficiency of our additive. This P-blown film was produced on an industrial line. It was a 3-layer film, one skin layer, 15 microns thickness, made with a plastomer, very low density polyethylene, where polymer processing head and anti-block were added with slip agent, organic slip additive. A core layer that could be a multiple core layer, but in our case, this core layer was made only with LDPE, and the opposite layer, thickness in between 15 to 20 microns, which is a combination of LLDPE and LDPE plus polymer processing head plus silica as anti-block. This layer E could be coordinate treated to make the film metallizable or printable. Same structure of the film where our silicone additive were tested. So our additive was added into the layer A. So it is low sealing initial temperature skin layer made in plastomer. Plastomer is a very low density polyethylene, density 0.02. Our additive were added in between 2 and 6% into this layer. No processing head were added and no anti-block because our additive is a combination of slip agent and anti-block. The core layer was exactly the same, LDPE, and the opposite layer, same composition, same thickness. Because our additive is based on silicone, our additive work as a processing head, and polymer processing head could be removed from the formulation of the low SIT skin layer in plastomer. This slide presents how we measure, how we determine coefficient of friction on the low SIT skin layer made in plastomer where slip agent were added, comparison between organic solution and to our silicone additive. So film measurement with a Zwick machine following this norm, and the film metal coefficient of friction. We worked with a lab device which is called the Tribotester. It is an internal method. We apply a load on a ball, and we apply a certain number of cycles and determine dynamic and static coefficient of friction steel film. Of course, we have evaluated the effect of the addition of our additive into the skin layer on mechanical property of the film. So we have determined tensile properties, cross direction and flow direction, and tear resistance following these two mentioned norms. So results, that's the most important part of the discussion. This curve presents dynamic and static coefficient of friction film. So our additive is added during extrusion process into the low SIT skin layer of the film, and we follow coefficient of friction as a function of the concentration of the additive. Blue curve dynamic C-wave, red curve, green curve, sorry, static C-wave. Of course, higher is the amount of our additive, lower is the coefficient of friction. We compare the efficiency of our additive to static and dynamic C-wave coming from organic reference, and we clearly see that we can reach exactly the same behavior in terms of coefficient of friction, film, when the amount of our additive is in between 4 to 6% into the low SIT skin layer. And we can say we reach film C-wave around 0.3, 0.35 when 5 to 6% of our additive is added into the low SIT skin layer. Film steel C-wave. So as before, our additive is added only in the desired skin layer, so low SIT skin layer. Dynamic C-wave significantly decrease when the concentration of our additive increase into the skin layer, and we reach film metal C-wave in between 0.2, 0.15 with only 4 to 6% of our additive, and it's totally comparable to what we can reach with an organic additive into plastomer. But what is very interesting, it is to observe the evolution of the efficiency in terms of C-wave of our additive after aging. So we apply an aging on the film, 2 months at 45 degrees, and we observe that dynamic coefficient of friction is really consistent, no change. So there is no effect of aging on the efficiency of our additive in terms of coefficient of friction, steel film C-wave. Of course, if we compare after aging the efficiency of our additive, silicone additive, to standard organic difference, we see a very big difference. We know that organic additives are not stable after aging. That is one of the main advantages of our additive. It remains stable C-wave over time and temperature. In terms of mechanical properties, this graph presents strain at break and elongation at break of the film as a function of the concentration of our additive into the skin layer. So everything is flat, no effect, no negative effect by the addition of our additive into the skin layer on film property. Exactly the same observation for tear strange. The addition of our additive into the skin layer doesn't negatively impact the tear strange of the film. So the film is not affected, mechanical property of the film is not affected by the addition of our additive. A very important point is the transfer. When the slip additive is added into the low SIT skin layer, after extrusion, the film is rolled. And of course, the layer which is treated with the slip additive, and in our case, it's a silicone additive, is in contact with the opposite layer, which is in general corona treated to make the film printable or metallizable. And when the film is rolled, these two layers are in contact, and of course, we do not expect any transfer of slip additive, in our case silicone, from the siliconized layer to the opposite layer in order to keep consistent the surface tension of the opposite layer, which is corona treated. We have defined an internal method and build an internal method at Multibase. In fact, we put in contact two films, siliconized layer against non-siliconized layer, and we press the two films during 2 months at room temperature. And after aging, we determine by infrared analysis the presence or not of silicone on the opposite layer, which is a non-siliconized layer. And in the same time, we evaluate if there is silicone transfer through the film, so intralayer migration of silicone from the siliconized layer to the opposite layer. So we use exactly the same lab device, but the conditions are quite different. We press the film only 1 month, but at 60 degrees in order to increase the potential kinetic of migration of silicone through the film. So by infrared analysis, we determine the presence of silicone or not. So contact transfer, remember, we press two films, siliconized layer against non-siliconized layer. The black spectrum is the non-siliconized layer before aging. The red spectrum is the spectrum of the siliconized layer, and we can see the distinctive peaks of silicone. So our silicone additive is in this layer. And the green spectrum is the spectrum of the opposite layer, so non-siliconized layer after aging. And it's really identical to the previous spectrum before aging. So we do not see the distinctive silicone peaks on this layer. We say there is no silicone transfer from the non-siliconized layer to the no transfer of the silicone from the siliconized layer to the non-siliconized layer underweight after 2 months. Same observation for intralayer transfer. So black spectrum infrared analysis of the non-siliconized layer, red spectrum infrared analysis of siliconized layer. I don't know if it is the right color, but pink is the same layer, siliconized layer, but after 1 month, 60 degrees. The intensity of the peak are smaller. That comes from reorganization and some change in terms of crystallization of silicone. And green spectrum, it is a non-siliconized layer after 1 month at 60 degrees. We do not observe any distinctive peak of silicone. There is no migration of the silicone through the film under pressure and temperature over time. In very simple words, I will explain how works silicone. and compared to traditional organic additive, and why it doesn't migrate and doesn't transfer. Slip additive is added into the sealing layer during film extrusion as silicone. Organic additive are small molecules, highly mobile in the matrix. The matrix works as a tank in order to maintain the property during time. This small molecule migrate, transfer, come on the surface of the film and give the low COF of the film, but it exudates through from the surface of the film over time. That's the reason why there is a consumption of this low molecular weight slip additive, and because it exudates, that can create a contamination, and these molecules are not stable at high temperature. Silicone is added during extrusion process into the skin layer, the sealing layer, only on the sealing layer. And during the melt phase, silicone migrates to the surface due to the low surface energy. And because of the ultra-high molecular weight of the silicone and the interaction with its matrix, silicone is strongly anchored on the surface of the film. That is the reason why it doesn't exudate, and that is the reason why it is very stable over time. Due to the chemical structure of silicone, it is really stable over temperature, and that makes this additive keeps performance over time and temperature. So in conclusion, our additive, when added into the sealing layer, because it works like a processing head, polymer processing head can be removed from the formulation of the skin layer. In terms of film coefficient of friction, and optimum is added when 4 to 6% of our additive is added into the skin layer, and we reach film COF around 0.3, 0.35. Film metal COF is really low compared to organic solution, and it is stable over time and temperature. Just a comment, with silicone additive, we generally observe a higher film COF, but that doesn't mean that film metal COF is high. That's the reason why we do recommend to our customer to measure film metal coefficient of friction when this is a desired outcome for the use of this slip agent. We have seen that addition of this additive does not negatively impact mechanical property of the film. I just explained that the silicone does not transfer against the non-siliconized layer by contact. It does not migrate through the layer with temperature. And by this way, it doesn't affect printing and metallization of the film. The recommended level of use for this new silicone additive is in between 4 to 6%, and it is added only in the desired layer, which is the sealing layer. This table presents the range of silicone additive we have recently developed for multi-layer film. Two kinds of film, PE blown film. If the each sealing layer is a low SIT skin layer made with a plastomer, very low density polyethylene, we recommend the use of this new additive, AMB 12-235, in between 4 to 6%. Remember, this additive is a combination of slip agent, which is silicone, and anti-block. If the sealing layer is, I will say, a standard sealing layer, if it is not a low SIT sealing layer made in LLDPE, metallocene LLDPE, we propose an additive, a silicon additive, which is MB25235. This additive is silicon-based, but without anti-block. The recommended level of use is in between 2 to 4%. And for BOPP, is multi-layer PP film, where the skin layer, the sealing layer, is a low SIT layer made in terpolymer, very thin, 1 to 2 microns, and we propose this silicon additive HMB6301, which is silicon-based without anti-block. This additive is recommended in between 2 to 3% to reach the right COF. Of all these silicon additives are food compliant, globally food compliant. They are free-flowing pellets, and they can be used with conventional thermoplastic equipment conditions. Thank you very much for your attention.
We will now answer to your questions.
So what is the difference between MB25235 and AMB? So, in fact, AMB is a combination of silicon polymer, and it contains anti-blocks. MB25235 is only silicon master batch. It doesn't contain anti-block. In terms of silicon, there is some difference. In fact, the interaction between the matrix and the silicon is different, and that makes the difference in terms of efficiency. Yes. Another question, is the CUS affected at high temperature? Coefficient of friction of film, while the skin layer is a low SIT skin layer, is not affected by temperature. This CUS is consistent over time and temperature. We have tested this additive, this new additive, on a film at 45 degrees, and we keep stable the coefficient of friction. Have you made a test on the impact of various laminating adhesive on migration? It's a very interesting question, and we are not able to answer to this question because everything coming from lamination, in fact, is a part of the know-how of our film producer. So different customers have tested our additive in different film structure with lamination, and based on their know-how, their technology, some customers clearly do not see any contamination, any migration. But really, it depends of the customer technology. Does the silicon change its seal property? Addition of silicon master batch into the low SIT skin layer slightly change its sealing property. In fact, it's necessary to increase the temperature by, I will say, in between 3 to 5 degrees. But in terms of sealing strength, that doesn't change anything. Just a slight increase of its sealing temperature. This additive could be used. So the question is, could we use it in a monolayer 1-2 millimeters, suppose, LLDP film? Of course, this additive could be used in a monolayer film, but in fact, to reach the right coefficient of friction, you will add in between 4 to 6% into the full thickness of the film. And these additives are more designed to be added in a very thin layer. But in any case, addition of this additive into a monolayer film will give the same efficiency in terms of C-wave. So addition of how does it change surface energy? Addition of silicone additive into low SiC skin layer